Hey everybody, this is Greg. In the wintertime, a lot of your foraging takes a back seat. There are some things that you can forage, and I'm going to be covering some of those in the very near future because I'm getting started back at this stuff. But wintertime is a good time to transplant things. And one thing that I've had to learn is that it doesn't always have to be about food and medicine. It can be about beauty. Well, my son last Mother's Day was working for a nursery. I was proud of that too, by the way. And he made his mom a really nice potted hydrangea with some solar lights and things like that. And well, she didn't want it to just die in the pot. And I'll be honest, I didn't know a whole lot about hydrangeas, so I had to do some research. Well, the best time to transplant a hydrangea is after it has gone dormant. And it has gone dormant. Now, he put all kinds of little decorative things in here, and he put some solar lights in there too, and all of those are actually going to go into the spot that we have selected for the hydrangea. And it's still alive, it's got some buds and everything, it's got some green down there, so that's all good. So after it goes dormant, that's when you're going to transplant it. Now, of doing my research, a hydrangea actually likes morning sun. So I am on the east side of the house where it'll get a little bit of shade in the late evening, and but it'll get plenty of sun, she'll get plenty of moisture, which we'll have to watch it this year. And I don't know how root bound it is, so when you get started, you take your pot and you just kind of mash your sides in to loosen up the root ball. And then you reach down in right at the base of the root ball, and you should be able to, yes, pull it all out in one chunk. Okay, so we were able to do that. That's good. Now you can see it's got typical potting soil stuff all the way around it. Now, part of one of the solar lights is actually still in this root ball somewhere, so I'm having to separate it. Let me turn you down just a little bit like that, and we'll fix that angle, because the solar lights are still working, but without that spike, which is right there, it's going to be kind of a little of a pain in the butt. Now, I've already prepared the hole, but I'm going to show you how we're going to go about doing that, and we'll just walk through it step by step. This same process can be used for most of your fruit bearing bushes and things like that, so hang around with me. All right, so we got it spun around there. I've got some potting soil here that I got at a super duper oh my goodness discount. So we've got to adjust the depth to where the tip of that ball is right at the surface. There we go, that's good. Now, when we first get started, we'll have to water it in real good, and we'll have to watch it when we're mowing, which right now, even though it's February, you can see henbit is just growing like mad. Chickweed is growing like mad. That's actually been frostbit, but still pretty tasty. Now, I've talked about it before. We don't use any chemicals in our yard, so as to allow anything and everything to grow, which now right now I want to hamper that growth around this. Now, having said that, you know, we don't use chemicals, you get some nasties sometimes. Right there, a little grub worm. Now that'd be prime fishing bait, especially for brim. He's not our friend. He eats the roots of plants. He's gonna wind up dying because he's exposed. Now see, I do things a little different than some folks in that I'm not really worried too much about the grass. I just want it to be nice. Now it's right here on the corner of our house. Right there, another grub worm. I probably should be collecting them. I may try to go fishing here pretty soon. Right there's a red worm. Whenever you see worms in your soil, you know that your soil's not in too bad a shape, because they can't make it in real bad soil. Now he gets to live. Right there, another one. And that can get to live too. And another one. Look at there. Man, we're doing good. Now, I don't know that I've talked too much about this place, but when I came here, this place was covered in garbage. And I gradually worked everything to get it all up. I cannot tell you how many trailer loads full of garbage I hauled off this place. Before me, it was owned by a plumber, and so I actually hauled off old toilets and lots of PVC pipe and copper. Now on the copper, you know, it's got a resale value, so I was able to recycle it and get a little bit of money back and paid for some gasoline. All right, now you see we got it. We got the ball, which is just like right there, and we just got it right up to that ball. We got the little buds up above the ground there. We don't want them to have to push through anything. You don't want to bury it too deep, but you also don't want it to be too high up in the soil. Now, I'm hoping, let's see, we're at February the 3rd, so in about a month and a half, we should see some growth on this bad boy. And there are some uses for hydrangea, so you can look forward to that in the future. Of course, it's not wild, which now we do have wild hydrangea in this area, but it's oak leaf hydrangea and it's not as pretty. This is a blue hydrangea. Now, on that, the color of a hydrangea bloom is actually determined by the acidity of the soil. Now, like I said, this was originally designed by my son for my wife for a Mother's Day gift. So in keeping with that, I'm actually keeping all the little decorations. That's gonna make it a little tougher to maintain, but I think it'll be worth it in the long run. We'll actually have to move the decorations as the flower grows. That's a little owl. So we're gonna stick it in the ground. And a little fox. It's awful cute there. Stick it in the ground, and there was one more. Where are you? Maybe sitting on it. Yep. There's a little bear. Now, I don't know for a fact, but I think that the reason those were chosen is because of members of our family. The fox is the boy's sister. The owl is me, and sometimes the bear is mama, because you don't want to tick off a mama bear. Like I said, he added these little solar lights, and in keeping with his original design, he had it sunk all the way up, but I dug out the stem and all. So there we go. As this grows, these will be moved out as well. But it should add a pop of color on this corner here. And you know, when you're making a house a home, color's important. My wife likes the pretty, and I like my wife, so we work on pretty. I'm gonna show you one little shot of it here, and then we'll call that it. All right, as you can see, I've got all three of the little things that represent us. I got the two lights, I got the hydrangea in the center. Now in about, like I said, about a month and a half, we should start seeing some growth. Now that center stem, you may notice it's dead, but it's got an offshoot here that's alive, and then it's got some at the base that's alive. So it should do pretty good. And then be sure and look for, in the future, the uses for hydrangea. I hope you enjoyed it. We're getting back into it. I got some stuff planned, and actually I'm gonna try to shoot about 3 or 4 today. That way we'll get back on track. Step by step, we're bringing rural back. Have a great day. Bye.